Welcome to my story of film. Hope you like the style and the fonts. We'll come back to that later. This little film is about my love of film and its role in my life. So I could tell you about the mechanics of film in my life. Membership of film clubs, owning stupid numbers of DVDs, buying a house specifically so I could have a cinema, watching films in the garden, the books I've read about film, my love of poster designs and credits. But this would not really explain what film does. In less than 2 hours, a film can entertain. It can amaze, it can shock, it can dazzle, it can convince you of something you'd never considered, it can involve you in things you thought you'd never do, it can change you, it can make you fall in love. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to entertain, amaze, shock, dazzle, convince, involve, change you, and make you fall in love. Let's step into my cinema. The velvet curtains are illuminated. They pull back. Screen goes black, and we head off to another world. Let's journey to a land a long time ago and far, far away. To borrow from George Lucas, if there was a bright centre of the universe in the late 1970s, Barnstable was the town it was furthest from. But it had 2 cinemas and eventually only one. Of course, only one screen. And my dad would take me here. And one day we saw something that amazed us. This film, more than any other, caught my imagination. I saw it and saw it again. I bought comics and badges. Its ideas seemed to pour out of every shot. I was transported to another world. And this is what film can do. In 2 hours, you can learn a new country, a new culture, a different time, a newly imagined future. Not that the cinema was out pain for Dad and I. Orange Kiora gave me unbelievable asthma attacks, and Jaws made me not want to get back into the sea. At home, Dad and film educated. History with the Vikings. And it entertained. We laughed together knowing the next line before it was said in the Pink Panther. And video saved the movie star. It came in the form of a Ford Fiesta which arrived every Saturday evening. The boot of that car was a door to those countries, times and worlds. In 1989 I lived in London. The Lumiere Cinema in St Martin's Lane was my go-to haunt. We had to phone up to find out showtimes. No recordings. One week a girl with a very husky voice answered. "What's on?" I asked. "Tie me up and tie me down," she breathed. Needless to say, we attended that night and discovered a lifetime of colour and melodrama, which is unique. To me, Pedro Almodóvar, the director, is Spain. Spain is Almodóvar. A love of film and a film of love took me to Hong Kong, to Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love. This film speaks of passion and hidden love. It talks of judgment, and it ends in a beautiful scene of a man whispering into a wall in Angkor Wat in Cambodia. This film, and another by this great director, Chungking Express, explain Hong Kong like no book ever could. No one loves, and no one loves film like Italians. Cinema Paradiso is all about Italy's love of film, its love of great directors like Fellini and Visconti. And nowadays, Italy has its auteur answer to Almodóvar, Sorrentino. If you want to know Rome, know the great beauty. Film is not just story. Documentary film ironically peeks behind the curtain. A State of Mind follows families of North Korean gymnasts training for the spectacle that is the mass games. Films capture a zeitgeist. The great Bette Davis brings feminism to the fore in Now Voyager. Orson Welles, Carol Reed and Graham Greene transport us and make us fall in love with a post-war Vienna, making a trip to the Prater a pivotal moment in life. That man again, Wells. He didn't discard the rulebook, he never looked at it. Citizen Kane takes us to early 20th century in the US and explores the meaning of the life of a rich newspaper publisher and what it is to have loved and lost. And in America again, the greatest of them all, Hitchcock, combines mystery, loss, and San Francisco in all its glories into one of the greatest love stories ever told. Vertigo makes the beautiful Muir Woods the destination for all lovers. This, for me, is a perfect film. From the Saul Bass credits to the emotional soundtrack score by Bernard Herrmann, music aids the film. And film can aid music. Stop Making Sense was part of my introduction to Talking Heads. This is a concert movie like no other where David Byrne, possibly the greatest music showman, provides an unforgettable set of visuals to accompany his music. Every genre contains a gem in the most unexpected place, and they keep coming. You find yourself sat with small kids watching the animated film Up and being captured by a 2-minute sequence of a shared life which melts the coldest heart. I've already spoken about film's power to educate. For those learning right now, Etre Avoir will tell you everything you need to know about how to be a brilliant teacher. And still in France, here's a poster for Betty Blue, inhabited by Beatrice Dalle. 20 years later, my own Beatrice arrived. And 2 years later, I won my own Oscar. As my dad did, I hand over the gift of film to my children. The love of Audrey Hepburn dragged my daughter and I to New York in a trip that included watching a documentary about the great Bill Cunningham. One more of my fondest memories provided by film. So that's the end. Just time for the credits. If you like the sound of those films and a lot more besides, a BFI player subscription is a bargain. Sight and Sound is really the only film magazine. A great book and a source of a lovely cover design that I stole for this is Mark Cousins' The Story of Film. And staying with him, the style of this film was stolen from his brilliant 40 Days to Learn film, which is available online. In just over 2 hours, it will entertain, amaze, shock, dazzle, convince, involve, change you, and make you fall in love.